At the family barbecue, I funded top to bottom. Dad raised his glass. Congrats. Here's your trip to Tokyo, first class, all expenses. Then he looked at me. Mortgage is due, $2,600 by Monday. Handle it like a man. I asked, why do I pay while he gets vacations? He said, because he's the future of this family. So I texted one line and closed the joint account, and then I hit send on a file I've been editing for months. Raise your glasses, Dad shouted, loud enough to make the neighbor's dog stop barking. To our Adam. Tokyo first class. Hotels, tours, everything covered. He earned this. The backyard exploded with applause. Someone hooped. Someone else snorted into their drink. I stood by the grill, grease on my hands. The ribs, the beer, the folding chairs, the custom cake with Adam's name in gold. All of it was paid for by me. And this night, this celebration, wasn't even mine. Dad turned to me with that flat, heavy tone he used when delivering bad news at full volume. Oh, and by the way, mortgage is due Monday. $2,600. Handle it. Like a man. I didn't say anything at first. Just looked at him. At Mom pretending to sip her wine. At Adam, lounging like a prince in a lawn chair. Then I asked, why do I pay while he gets vacations? Dad didn't flinch. No sarcasm. No regret. Just a shrug, like he was reciting weather. Because he's the future of this family. You're just the backup. That was the moment I stopped pretending. I wiped my hands on my apron, pulled out my phone, and typed a single line. No emotion. No punctuation. Joint account is closed. Good luck. Then I hit another button. One I'd been preparing for months. Quietly. Patiently. Late at night. In the dark. When anger felt cleaner than sleep. The file was gone now. Uploaded. Not to Facebook. Not to the family chat. Not yet. What was in that file? They didn't know. But they would. And when they did, nothing would be the same again. I set my phone on the table, took off my apron, let it hang there like dead weight, and walked away. Someone shouted behind me. I didn't turn around. Because when you've swallowed silence for years, the sound of your own exit is the loudest thing they'll ever hear. They always said it was just temporary. The money I sent. The help I gave. The way I picked up every broken piece after their messes. Just until Dad's business picks up. Just until Adam finds his path. Just until tax season's over. 10 years. That's how long temporary lasted. I paid off their second mortgage when Dad accidentally missed 6 payments. I covered the medical bill when Mom forgot to renew her insurance. I bought Adam a used car when he wrecked the first one while drunk, something no one ever told me until months later. And not once did anyone say thank you. Not once. They treated it like gravity. Something that just is. Dad's voice was always the same when he called. No hello. No how are you? Just. Need $500. Send it now. Mom never objected. Never defended me. She just whispered things like, don't upset your father. He's stressed. Or, Adam's just figuring things out. And Adam? He never asked. He didn't have to. He just assumed. He was the golden one. The baby. The future. He once sent me a Venmo request that said, because I'm your brother. That was it. I should have cut it off years ago. But I didn't. Because part of me still thought maybe, just maybe, they'd see it. See me. Then came the night everything cracked open. It was 2 weeks before the barbecue. I logged into the shared bank account to check something. Just routine, and saw it. $3,400 gone. Withdrawn in 3 separate payments over the weekend. I called Dad. What is this? Oh, he said. That's for Adam's Japan visa. New suit. Couple things he needs. I didn't even raise my voice. I just said, you didn't ask me. And he laughed. Why would I? You always take care of family. That was the first time I felt something in my chest twist. Something old and sharp. The next day, Adam posted a reel on Instagram, standing in front of a luxury hotel with the caption, manifesting abundance. When your family believes in you, anything's possible. I almost smashed my phone. Then came the Facebook post from Mom. A picture of Adam and Dad in matching suits. Champagne. A steak dinner behind them. Caption. So proud of our boy. He's going places. Our rock. Our light. My name wasn't there. I didn't even exist. I didn't respond. I didn't text. I didn't comment. I just started digging. And that's when I found it. A folder buried in the family's shared Google Drive. It was labeled Taxes 2022. Inside, receipts, W-2s, some old PDFs, and something I wasn't supposed to see. A document titled, Loan Application Draft, for review. I opened it. There it was. My name, my social security number, my job title, listed as a co-signer on a business loan application I'd never signed, for a business that didn't exist. And the kicker? Dad's handwriting at the bottom. A note to someone named Mike. He won't ask questions. He never does. I sat there in my apartment, shaking, not with fear, with clarity, because now I understood I wasn't family. I was funding. I printed the document, sent it to a lawyer friend, quietly, just in case. I started checking every account I had access to. Found another expense I didn't recognize. $2,100 at a watch store downtown. Adam had tagged the location on Snapchat. He was wearing it in a video, toasting to my new life. I called my mother. Why didn't you stop him? Her voice was small. He's your brother. That's when I hung up. They didn't just use me. They believed it was my role to be used. I'm not writing this to get even. I just want to be heard without being erased. But they didn't know I'd been saving every email, every Venmo, every text, every shared bank password, every lie that had a timestamp. They didn't know I had a folder, encrypted, backed up in the cloud, labeled, if they ever push me too far. And now I was opening it. He texted me late Saturday night. Just one line. Sunday game. 3:30. Our old seats. No drama. Like men. I didn't respond right away. 10 minutes later, another message came. Not for me. For the family. Let's talk. Then one from Mom. Please. He's making an effort. Just hear him out. I could have ignored it. I had every reason to. But I knew this wasn't about peace. This was about control. A last-minute PR stunt before the mask fully shattered. So I said yes. But I wasn't going alone. The stadium was half full. Local team down 0-2. Section 113, row 7. Our old seats, like he said. We sat surrounded by kids, teenagers in face paint, and men yelling at referees like they owed them rent. Dad looked calm. Too calm. Remember when we came here your first time? He said, tossing me a bottle of soda like it was some father-son nostalgia trip. I didn't answer. He tried again. Listen, I don't want things to go sideways. We've all made mistakes. I'll own mine. But let's not take this public, all right? We're family. This can stay in the family. I turned toward him, looked him dead in the eye. You have 10 minutes, I said. Then I release everything. His jaw twitched, but he forced a smile. So now you're the hero, huh? Making a little movie about your poor life? I reached into my backpack and pulled out a folder. Clean. Organized. Final. Inside. A fake loan application with my name and social security number. Screenshots of my bank withdrawals. A printed line from the shared family Google Drive that read, he won't ask questions. He never does. For a second, he blinked. Then he laughed. Loud. Sharp. The same laugh I heard when he told me my dreams were cute or expensive. You're blowing this up for nothing, he snapped. I carried this family on my back while you counted pennies. I built this house. With my money, I replied. And while you posted pictures of Adam in $1,000 suits, I was the one getting the overdraft alerts. He stood up, voice rising. You better calm down. I won't, I said, because someone else needs to speak. And then she stepped forward. Tanya, his former accountant, mid-40s, precise voice, no frills. She sat beside him, pulled out her own folder, and spoke like a court verdict. I worked for him for 6 years. I saw him forge the application. I saw him list you as a co-signer without your consent. The bank has opened a fraud investigation. He froze, then turned to me, red-faced. You brought her here. To the game. I stood too. This isn't a game. This is the final whistle. You never apologized. Never explained. You just wanted me quiet one last time. But I'm not traceable anymore. He started shouting about betrayal. About blood. About me. Turning the whole family upside down. People started turning. Mom appeared 10 minutes later, crying. Please, she begged. People are watching. I didn't look at either of them. I unlocked my phone, opened the family group chat, and hit send to all. Family_audit_2017_2025.pdf. Audio_Adam_card_April.m4a. Signed_loan_fake.pdf. At that moment, the home team scored a goal. The stadium erupted. But in row 7, silence. I turned to Dad and said calmly, game over. Let's see how they enjoy the replay. He didn't call. He didn't write. He posted. 6 days after the stadium confrontation, where I unveiled the truth, armed with documents and recordings, he resurfaced. Not to apologize, not to explain, but to reclaim control. He launched a new Instagram account at Real Family Truths. Bio: father, provider, betrayed by blood. The first post was a video, filmed in his truck, his usual confessional booth. Dim lighting, soft country music in the background, and a tear-streaked face. He looked into the camera with red-rimmed eyes. "My son turned on me," he began, voice trembling. "But I forgive him." He paused, as if gathering strength. "I wasn't perfect, but everything I did, every hard choice, was for them, for this family. And now he's out there spreading lies. Lies that hurt his own blood." Final words, laden with sorrow. "I love you, son. I forgive you. But I won't stay silent." The internet exploded. People fell for it. Hook, line, and crocodile tears. "You're such a strong father. Kids today have no heart. He'll regret this one day. Prayers for your broken family." By midnight, 72,000 views. By dawn, 120,000. His martyrdom was trending in 3 parenting groups. Then came the carousel post. Me as a kid, sitting on his shoulders. Christmas morning. A faded photo of me and Adam, arms around each other, both unaware of the storm coming years later. Captions. "He was always a good kid. I just wanted to be his hero. Maybe he'll remember one day." Even people I trusted reshared it. Old classmates, ex-coworkers, distant cousins, all reposting his version like it was gospel. Some even reached out to me. "Is it true what he said? Why are family drama online? Can't you just talk to him?" And then, of course, Mom. Her message came with guilt disguised as care. "He's hurting. Don't make it worse. Be the bigger person." She didn't ask how I was. Didn't ask if anything he said was true. Just begged me to protect his image again. So I did what I should have done long ago. I didn't respond. But I uploaded the file. raw_timeline_documents.zip. No title card. No face. No crying. No names. Just timestamped evidence. Loan application with my forged signature. Screenshot of my account emptied to pay Adam's emergency trip. Audio file, Dad saying, "He won't notice. And if he does, I'll handle it." Screenshots of Mom saying, "Don't tell him. It'll stress him out." Transaction logs. Venmo messages. Google Drive comments with edit history. Everything. No emotion. No revenge speech. Just truth. It didn't go viral. It didn't need to. It just spread. Quietly. Like smoke in a locked room. People started disappearing from his side. A friend of his, the one who always grilled with him on Memorial Day, unfollowed him. A neighbor commented, "Didn't expect to see my name in one of those screenshots." Then deleted it. An old coworker posted a vague story. Sometimes the loudest voice is hiding the biggest lie. He tried again. Posted another video. More desperate. More cracked. But this one barely scraped 3,000 views. No comments. No prayers. Just 3 likes, one from Mom, one from some random family values account, and one he probably made himself. He was losing the crowd. And I knew exactly what that felt like, because I'd lived it. But I wasn't him. I didn't need a spotlight. Just quiet. And distance. A few days later, I received a message from Aunt Rhonda. "We didn't know what you were carrying. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that." I stared at it for a long time, and then I archived it. Because this wasn't about being believed anymore. It was about never being silenced again. He had tried to rewrite the ending, to make me the villain in his heroic comeback. But I didn't play his game. I handed them the receipts. Unfiltered, unnamed, undeniable. And the truth? The truth doesn't need a narrator. It just stays. Even when they try to bury it in likes. Even when they cry into the camera like soap opera stars. Even when they twist and post and plead. It stays. And silence? Silence is the loudest thing I've ever said. I left everything behind in 31 hours. Not because I wanted to. Because I had to. There's a moment, right before you break, when your whole life turns quiet. Not peaceful. Just still. Like a room just after the screen. For me, that moment came at 2:17 a.m., staring at the glow of my phone after reading the 10th message from my dad that week. Not sorry. Not, let's talk. Just, this is what happens when sons forget where they came from. I stared at those words, then booked a one-way ticket. No second thoughts. Lisbon. Departure in 31 hours. I didn't cry. Didn't pack with ceremony. Just threw the essentials into a backpack, laptop, documents, old passport with my original name still on it, and left behind the apartment I'd paid for 3 adults who treated my money like an apology and my silence like consent. The cab to the airport was cold and quiet. My fingers shook only once, when we passed the street with the coffee shop where I used to bring my mother. The one I paid for, where she told people I was just helpful, not essential. At the gate, I didn't look back. I was done looking back. Lisbon, 6:12 a.m. The plane touched down with a softness that felt like mercy. Light spread across the city like a new page. Tiled roofs caught the sun. A tram rolled past like an invitation. And for the first time in years, I exhaled, like someone who'd been holding his breath since birth. Then my phone buzzed. For missed calls from Dad. One voicemail from Mom. Just tell me where you are. We can fix this. One text from Adam. I'm sorry. I was scared. I read them all. And then, without emotion, I powered off the phone, placed it in the kitchen drawer of my Airbnb, and went out for coffee. The first week, I didn't speak. Not even small talk. I walked through alleys that smelled of ocean and bakery sugar, sat alone in parks where children played, and watched the locals live like I wanted to, fully present, utterly unbothered. I didn't miss anyone. And that terrified me, how quickly love can evacuate a body once it's no longer useful. Week 2. A tiny design studio with a handwritten sign, freelancers welcome. I stepped in, showed them my work, and they offered me a seat and a job. No referrals. No background checks. Just trust, something my own family never gave me without a catch. I met Raphael and Ines that afternoon. 2 creatives with scars in all the same places. They'd left behind similar stories, loud fathers, silent mothers, siblings who climbed over them like stairs. We didn't talk much about the past, just enough to know we'd survived something similar. By the end of the month, I had a 3rd-floor apartment in Alfama, walls yellow with age and pride, a SIM card no one in my old life could touch, a bank account with my name only and no links to their debts, a coffee mug that read, finally, silence. I posted one photo, just my bare feet in the sand, a book face down on my chest, the phone beside me, screen black, irrelevant. Caption: starting fresh. If I don't reply, it's because I don't need to anymore. No hashtags. No geotags. Just truth. It didn't explode online. It inhaled. Dozens of DMs, quiet ones, raw ones. I paid off my dad's gambling debt for 7 years. He still called me lazy. My mom sold the apartment I bought her and told people it was her smart investing. I thought I was alone. You showed me I'm not. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. I was already doing what they begged me for in their own lives, living free. Back home, the collapse continued without me. My father posted another TikTok, a teary speech filmed in his garage, a beer next to a Bible. He called me lost, then loved, then dangerous. It got 2,000 views. Most were bots. The man who once filled rooms with laughter was now shouting into the algorithm. And no one cared. I heard, through someone, that even his old golf partner blocked him. One neighbor allegedly said, if he was half the father he pretends to be, that boy wouldn't have left. Mom kept trying. Voice notes that always started with, I'm not picking sides, and ended with, but you're still family, as if blood meant anything after years of quiet betrayal. Her messages became a loop, a guilt melody she didn't know I'd stopped dancing to years ago. I listened to the last one while watching the sun fall over the ocean. Then I deleted it. One night, I was at a cafe in Baixa. Rain tapped the glass like an old friend with bad news. Laptop open. Coffee untouched. The spare phone buzzed once. Unknown number. We were wrong. Please come back. That's all it said. No name. No punctuation. Just desperation wrapped in nostalgia. I stared at it for a long time. Not because it hurt. Because it didn't. Then I hit delete. Some people think closure is a conversation. A hug. A scream. A slap. A phone call at 2 a.m. It's not. Closure is knowing you could answer. But you don't need to anymore. Because the version of you they hurt, the one who paid their bills and swallowed their insults, that version is gone. I didn't win. I just left. And in that leaving, I became someone I actually liked. Someone who no longer needed permission to exist. Now, when people ask where I'm from, I say, nowhere. Not because I'm rootless, but because my roots were poisoned, and I chose to plant new ones, in sunlight, in my own soil, far from their shade. My family still exists, but not in my world. Not anymore. Maybe one day they'll understand why I walked away and that it wasn't out of hate. If this was the cost of freedom, then I paid in full. And for once, I don't want a refund.